What up, world? You already know what time it is. It's your boy Matt Miz, the host with the most. Don't need to brag, don't boast. All I do is give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in a real way for us players to play. You already know what time it is. Respect for coming through, tuning in to another episode. Are we talking about propaganda politics in hip hop? You know what I'm saying? How certain politicians are mocked by certain, well, are endorsed by certain rappers. People got certain agendas, you know what I'm saying? There's always a hidden hand behind everything, you know? So we gotta check the inner circles, the real deep issues that's going on in the rap game right now. You got Rock Nation. They're real Democratic supporters, you know? And they've basically endorsed Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And in turn, gave Lil Wayne, sent Lil Wayne a federal indictment. Well, give Lil Wayne a federal gun charge of a gun that was stemming from a couple years back because he visited Trump and ended up endorsing Trump, saying that he understands his policies. But come to find out, he probably got paid from Trump. So, or he's gonna help him get off his case. But one way or the other, that's how the propagandists ends up being spread in the hip hop realm, you know? Hip hop shouldn't be a place for politics, man. We shouldn't be picking sides when it comes to politicians, you know? We should just lay the facts out straight, let the people decide how they want to run with it, you know? So there's a lot of, what should I say? There's a lot of, what should I say? There's a lot of bad energy when it comes to politicians endorsing rappers endorsing politicians, because when they don't do stuff for the people, what do? For 4 years again, we're still going to look to our favorite rapper to see who he's going. Instead of having our own agenda. You know what I mean? So the shit turns into a shit show. Now it's being said that Biden is being sworn in. You know what I'm saying? So Biden is being sworn in. Automatically, the media is making it seem like the Trump team lost already. They ain't got no leg to stand on. Reports. And they're just doing all this for no reason. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are looking at this election and shaking their heads because it seems like there's a lot of foul play in certain instances, in certain areas. So let's see what Giuliani had to say about it, because Giuliani is the one that is behind all this, right? And he acts like he's neutral, where he's part of Trump's legal team. So there's certain things that need to be addressed. You know? And we have to look at it from all angles. Why is it that they always look to rappers to endorse them around election time? Because rap is the most influential genre right now throughout the whole planet. You see what hip hop did for the rest of the world? And they had the audacity to act like we don't know what's going on. We know exactly how y'all stay around. You know? Shit is written in stone, man. Some people have certain interests. But whatever candidate you vote for, y'all better be rest assured that it's somebody that's not going to be looking out for your best interest. Because at the end of the day, who really gives a shit about who you're talking about or what you're talking about? It's all about, did you give them what they needed when they need it? You know, fix. Nobody wants to delve into the reality of things no more, you know? Get deep. You gotta get deep out of it. You know? Shit ain't sweet, man. Shit is not sweet. People think it's easy just to go out there and explain to the rest of the world that we are subjugated and we are living in a system of racism. Our rap is just a part of that. But if it's not constructive, why should we listen to anything they have to say? Not to say that rappers ain't got political views, proper political views, but I ain't no rapper myself, so I wouldn't really know. You know what I mean? I am not no rapper band. I'm a clapper man in the street, dapper down. No one tougher than rapper than. No. I can't say all that, but you know, when it comes to this real shit, looking and seeing life the way it ought to be seen. Hip hop and politics, it's like it's one and the same. You always gotta vote for who you like the most, you know. Pay to hear them speak, watch them campaign, you know, catering to their constituency would be knowing your audience. So when it comes to what's going on in the politics, right? You're trying to take the election, run with it, and have us picking up pieces because they have no agenda for us. So why should we listen to people that don't have our best interests on? Like I said, it's all a bigger scheme, a plot to keep us. Yeah. So that's what it is, you know. The game is to be sold, not told. So I guess they're selling themselves to these politicians in order to get some tangibles in return. Hopefully, some type of quid pro quo. It's just a every man for himself type of uh, let's say, things are really getting fishy. So let me put on this here Giuliani thing. Let's talk about this global reset thing that everyone's talking about. The Prime Minister was talking about that. So we gotta check that out. Seems to me there's some strange shit going down, you know. Something fishy is really going down. That's why I don't trust near one of them politicians out there. Actually, I voted for Jag Meat. I can't lie. I voted for Jag Meat. Homeboy ain't really producing it. But let's listen to Giuliani what he thinks about this whole Trump team split. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me for a second. You already know. I ain't out here kicking on fugazi shit for y'all, man. You see, I take my information off from both sides, evaluate it accordingly. So let's go ahead and play this video real quick. We're going to talk about the great reset that they have planned for the world and why the election is being played. Why the people have no bearing or understanding of what's going on. Everybody's just silently welcoming in Biden because it feels like it's a good thing to do. So let's listen.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. This is NTD Business and I'm Paul Graney. Pennsylvania certified its presidential election results today for Joe Biden, but it seems it's not over yet. The Trump campaign says they'll go all the way to the Supreme Court. The Dow hits 30,000 for the first time in history. The president credits the American people. The Great Reset. We look at what the New York Times calls a right-wing conspiracy theory, what the World Economic Forum calls a unique opportunity to shape the global recovery. Which is it then, if either? And as U.S. virus cases go up, lockdown measures are getting more strict. We hear from people across the country on how it's impacting them. One governor says it's challenging, even after he violated his own lockdown orders. Pennsylvania certified its results today in favor of Joe Biden. Michigan, of course, did the same yesterday, but the Trump campaign isn't giving up the fight in either of the states, or so they say. It says the state's certifications are merely a procedural step, and in Pennsylvania, an appeals court says it will expedite a case tossed by an Obama-appointed judge. That's on allegations that some counties there treated ballots differently than others. That's potentially benefiting one party over the other. The Trump campaign says they're willing to go all the way to the Supreme Court with this and other cases. Here's Trump's personal attorney speaking to Fox Business.
Our theory of the case to get to the Supreme Court, now in 4 places, and it's soon going to be in 2 others, and there'll be an overall lawsuit, is basically misconduct of the election by state officials in at least 5 or 6 different states.
And Georgia begins its second recount today, but it won't be able to verify the signatures on the ballots. That's something that President Trump and other Republicans have called for. The Secretary of State says ballots have already been separated from the envelopes. That's where signatures are located, so it's impossible now to reconnect the two. A Republican member of the House Oversight Committee says there were serious problems with the state's election, including the signature matching. Here's what he said to Newsmax TV.
One thing that comes to mind immediately is the signature verification, which virtually was not done. Those signatures need to be compared with the voter file, the registration file, not just a signature on a ballot. We've got to get to the bottom of who offered legal ballots, who offered illegal ballots, and the illegal ones somehow need to be tossed out.
And during Wisconsin's recount, they found around 380 ballots that weren't counted the first time. We don't know yet who they will benefit more, Joe Biden or President Trump. There are around 20,000 votes between the two. Officials blame the uncounted ballots on inexperienced staff members. And the Michigan Supreme Court wants a lower court there to act fast and assess allegations of voter fraud. It says the plaintiffs presented evidence to back up claims like things like ballots being counted from voters whose names weren't on poll books, or even elections officials who gave instructions to disobey election laws and regulations. And Sidney Powell associate Lynn Wood says Powell will file a lawsuit in Georgia on Wednesday. He asked his followers to believe Powell and him, even if others deny the allegations. Trump's legal team split with Powell earlier in the week. Rudy Giuliani says it's because the Trump legal team and Powell are pursuing 2 different theories. He says the Trump legal team is focused on misconduct of election by state officials, But he didn't say what Powell was working on. She did say previously she was working on something of biblical proportions related to the Dominion voting machines used during the elections. And in business news, Wall Street rallied on Tuesday and the Dow closed above 30,000 points for the first time ever. At closing, it rose nearly 455 points, or 1.5%. This gave 100 gain.
Wow. So it doesn't look like the Trump team is about to let up anytime soon, man. So you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a long. But if y'all really think that the Democrats won the election fair and square, I just hope the rest for y'all. Not that I want Trump to win, but it kind of makes sense. Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Trump must see himself on. But you gotta understand, they say he's such a great chess player, he probably already thought this whole process through. Because if like he says, he's going up against the top brass, upper echelon, they got a lot of power and a lot of pull. So a lot of power and a lot of pull could mean a lot of people getting paid off. Certain information doesn't get out, and they get them out the paint. So we'll see. Only time will tell. But I know for one, one thing only. You're talking about Donald Trump. I don't think he was supposed to be where he is. That could be a problem for a lot of people. So they say there's about 150,000 votes. That need to be counted. And the fact of the matter is, it might be true, because it's like, how overnight all the votes went to Biden. People ain't that stupid. Or are they? Because nowadays you never know. Trump never conceded to fake ballots. Never concede to fake ballots, he says. And he got more votes this election, so it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all.
Thousand count difference between the recount number and the certified results. From Gwinnett alone, Trump had an increase of 948 votes, and Biden had 663 more. But county officials were told not to include those additional counts in the state's certified results. According to this letter sent to county election officials on November 16th, Our office has concluded the original results from the Dominion voting system on and after Election Day should be the results that your county certifies. Though the risk limiting audit, or RLA, might show slight changes in totals, those changes are not the certified results.
I made phone calls to the boards of elections.
Right. Okay. And did your numbers, were they exactly the same?
No,
Which ones will be counted as the official numbers?
the election night numbers.
Why is that?
You'll have to ask the state why that is, ma'am. I don't know.
So how do we even believe the results when they're not being precise with the results?
With a vote margin of just around 12,000 between Trump and Biden, the question remains, if multiple counties found an increased number of votes during their audits, like Gwinnett County, could those numbers add up to change the overall state's results? Reporting in Georgia, Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
The Trump campaign is questioning the legitimacy of Georgia's hand recount, which confirmed a Biden win. And now a recount worker during the audit tells us what he saw. NTD's Juliet Song reports. At the request of the Trump campaign, Georgia is now preparing for another recount of its almost 5 million votes. This after a statewide recount, which an insider describes as a chaotic process that was very hard to watch.
I'd say, wow, this is actually going on right in front of our eyes. And I said, wow.
Rolls said he didn't trust the result of the previous hand recount due to his personal experience. Roll and his wife were working at the Georgia World Congress Center, counting ballots for Fulton County. He said he was told the recount would take 5 days, but it wrapped up in less than 2 days.
I know that Fulton County had over 500,000 votes to count, and it was so brief that it's very hard for me to try to fathom that many votes were counted.
He added counters weren't given equal amounts of ballots.
Certain people were getting more ballots than other people, and then those particular people who were getting these large stacks weren't really counting the ballots.
Roll explained after sorting the ballots, counters were meant to read out the number of ballots in a stack and have another person repeat the same procedure, but he noticed a large amount of counters were not following the rules.
You're not supposed to take a stack of ballots and reshuffle them from one stack to another on your own. And I didn't even see them placing them in the designated locations for the candidates. So it's like they're not even placing them in the location where the candidates would be placed if you were actually counting the ballots.
He says he noticed a lot of the staff weren't working in teams of 2 as required.
And then they were working on their own. That person had a stack and the other person had a stack when they were working on them individually.
His wife Sonia Roll, who also worked as a ballot counter during the audit, noticed batches of ballots that were perfectly bubbled in, and they were overwhelmingly for Biden.
You can't have a perfectly ballot, no mark, absolutely no mark on the outside on a ballot sheet, so many ballots. It's just, those are the things that was very, suspicious to us.
She didn't have an estimate of the number of such ballots, and Georgia's Secretary of State's office didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Gordon Roll added that he thinks it's a sad situation that America has come to a point of having elections that so many lack faith in, and he hopes measures can be taken to ensure all Americans have a fair say on who will become the next president of the United States. Reporting by Juliet Song, NTD News. Minnesota Republicans say they're planning a lawsuit against the state's secretary. They say his changes to election rules were unconstitutional and that only the Minnesota legislature can do that. Minnesota lawmakers say they filed a lawsuit to halt the certification of election results. They allege Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon, a Democrat, illegally altered Minnesota's election laws by bypassing the Minnesota legislature. As a broadcast, a search of federal courts didn't show a new lawsuit against Simon. The lawmakers are part of the new House Republican caucus. They said they're asking the court to suspend election certification until certain issues are addressed. One of the issues, they say, is the mail-in ballots were treated differently from county to county. The spokesman for Simon said they haven't seen the lawsuit, and they're proceeding with the statewide canvass, which is scheduled to certify the election results on Tuesday. The board is made up of Simon and 4 judges. A previous lawsuit ordered Minnesota election officials to separate all mail-in ballots received after the deadlines in case a court issues a ruling finding them invalid or unlawfully counted. Simon said he would do it, but that the state would count the ballots unless a court said not to count them. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court decided on Monday to uphold a lower court's order to toss 270 provisional ballots with missing signatures. This decision led to a Republican candidate in the state Senate race with a 4-vote lead. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court denied yesterday an appeal request by the Allegheny County Board of Elections to overturn a decision by a lower court. This means that 270 contested provisional ballots with missing or defected signatures will not be counted. The lawsuit contesting the 270 provisional ballots was first brought forth by a Republican candidate, Nicole Ziccarelli, in Pennsylvania's state Senate election. She is running against the Democratic incumbent in the 45th Senate District, covering Allegheny County and one other county. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision to uphold the lower court's order led to a 4-vote lead for the Republican candidate. Over the weekend, a spokesperson for Dominion Voting Systems appeared on Fox to deny all allegations against the company and its software. Dominion has also denied having ties to Smartmatic, but a resurfaced video from a Filipino news outlet portrays a different story.
Spokesperson for Dominion Voting Systems, Michael Steele, appeared on Fox News Sunday to deny allegations against Dominion.
First question people want to know: did a Dominion machine change one vote from Biden to Trump or from Trump to Biden?
No. This is a nonpartisan American company. It is not physically possible for our machines to switch votes from one candidate to the other.
The interview comes after Dominion canceled their agreed appearance before a committee of Pennsylvania lawmakers on Friday. Dominion has also denied that it has any ties to Smartmatic voting systems. This came after members of the Trump legal team claimed Dominion was a front for Smartmatic, and later attorney Sidney Powell released an affidavit alleging Dominion uses Smartmatic software and that the software was created to rig elections in Venezuela.
The Dominion voting systems, the Smartmatic technology software, and the software that goes in other computerized voting systems here as well, not just Dominion, were created in Venezuela at the direction of Hugo Chavez to make sure he never lost an election after one constitutional referendum came out the way he did not want it to come out. We have one very strong witness who has explained how it all works.
Despite denying such ties, it is well documented that Dominion has been involved with Smartmatic in the past. And now, in a resurfaced interview from 2015, the Smartmatic chairman, Lord Mark Malloch Brown, tells a Filipino news outlet that it has an active agreement with Dominion to use its software.
You know, the fact is, yes, part of our technology is licensed from Dominion, but you tell me a large technology company which isn't using, in part, licenses from other companies.
So Mark, let me just cut in there and ask you, the license issued by Dominion for you to use their proprietary software, that is a live license. It's an active license. It has not been revoked. Okay, all right.
The interview was centered around the security of Smartmatic software due to a long history of election fraud allegations against the company in the Philippines. NTD News has not been able to verify if the agreement between Smartmatic and Dominion is still active today. Reporting by Grace Coulter, NTD News.
On November 20th, the Supreme Court announced its new circuit assignments for its justices. The new lineup reflects the addition of Justice Amy Coney Barrett after the passing of late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. NTD's Christina Kim has more on that.
America's federal court system is made up of district courts, appellate courts, and the U.S. Supreme Court. The country is split into 13 circuits, 11 regional circuits, plus the DC Circuit and the Federal Circuit, which deals with specialized issues like patent law. For example, the 11th Circuit is made up of Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Each of the 13 circuits, including the federal and DC circuits, are assigned to a Supreme Court justice. With the new court in session, the circuit assignments have shifted. Justice Sotomayor has taken over the Second Circuit, previously supervised by the late Justice Ginsburg. As a result, Sotomayor's previous Sixth Circuit assignment went to Justice Kavanaugh. Conservative Justices Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett will handle emergency appeals from the election battleground states of Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin, respectively, while Justice Elena Kagan will handle the circuit containing the other two contested states, Arizona and Nevada. She's considered a more liberal justice. Typically, justices are assigned to circuits where they have previously judged, or to the circuit that oversees their home state. A circuit judge is primarily responsible for dealing with emergency requests in their circuit that can span from more serious matters to deadline extension requests. They can also refer significant emergency requests to the full court. We have recently seen this in action when Justice Alito issued an order as a circuit justice for the Third Circuit. He granted an emergency request by Pennsylvania's Republican Party and ordered Pennsylvania election officials to segregate ballots that arrived after Election Day. On November 22nd, the Trump campaign appealed a dismissal of a lawsuit in Pennsylvania. Rudy Giuliani said the team hopes the Third Circuit will be as gracious as Judge Brand in deciding the appeal one way or the other as expeditiously as possible, adding that this is another case that appears to be moving quickly to the United States Supreme Court. None of the election lawsuits have made their way to the Supreme Court yet, but both the Trump campaign and third parties have filed challenges in all 6 states. Back in 2000, the election dispute between George Bush and Al Gore was settled by the Supreme Court. Considering the number of legal challenges pending, the nation's highest court may again play a pivotal role. Christina Kim, NTD News.
Congress will eventually have to tally up the certified votes from each state, but that doesn't mean they have to accept them. At least one congressman has said he'll turn down any state's results that he's not confident in. NTD's Tom Moreno has more from a political scientist who says this is a possibility, but it can be challenged.
Republican Alabama Congressman Mo Brooks has said that he'll reject potentially fraudulent election results when Congress moves to vote for the president in January. In other words, whatever the results are after the Trump campaign's lawsuits are settled, Congress still has a chance to accept or deny those results. Political science professor Nicholas Giordano says this is a possibility, but a choice that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Well, it is true to a certain degree, because when you read the Constitution, when you read Article 2, Section 1, it's actually vague, and it says Congress will determine.
The Dynamica by DeLonghi makes it easy to make freshly ground espresso right at the touch of a button.
Congress is going to get them out of it, just like they got them
Legislative electors, when they meet their votes, and will certify those votes. So technically, if Congress sees that there was rampant fraud in a particular state, Congress can actually say that those states' electors have been disqualified.
He also said states could challenge that decision in court. But if read and interpreted as is, he says the Constitution has given Congress this power to accept or deny a state's certified votes. In 2017, Democratic House members tried to deny state results that would hand over the presidency to then-candidate Donald Trump. But they failed because Senate members turned down the House Democrats by not signing their objection letters, complaints senators have to support in order to properly challenge a state's results. Miguel Moreno, NTD News.
Senator Dianne Feinstein announced she will not seek a leadership position in the Senate Judiciary Committee. The 87-year-old Congresswoman has been the top Democrat on the committee since 2017. Before that, she was chair and vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, as well as a chair of the Senate Rules Committee. In late October, Feinstein faced backlash from Democrats when she praised Republicans for their organization of the confirmation hearings for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. At the end of the hearings, Feinstein hugged Judiciary Committee Chair Lindsey Graham and said she could see future bipartisan legislation coming out of it. Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin said in a statement that he is seeking to replace Feinstein as the top Democrat on the committee in response to Feinstein's decision. Coming up, fitness enthusiasts in New York State are hoping to keep their gyms open. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio closed public schools last week due to the pandemic. And Macy's unveiled its new floats and balloons for the Thanksgiving Day Parade. In-person attendance will not be permitted in New York City this year due to the pandemic. Catch a glimpse of the new additions and more when we return.
So the whole thing is, there's a lot of evidence, man, that points that the Senate deciding the election. That's the case. Y'all remember the impeachment? Everybody swore that he was going to get impeached. Look what happened. So could it be that this whole COVID thing is part of the conspiracy too? You know? Should get deep, man. Should get real deep. You know? People really trust that. You know what I'm saying? Shit goes far, far, far. And it's real deep. Y'all remember General, what was his name? General Byrd. What was his name? The general there. Yeah, some type of information, inside information on these elites. And he's the one that said, hey man, y'all lied about the collusion. And y'all lying over here again. So I don't know what to tell y'all, man, but this shit gets deep, yo. When it comes to this COVID-19. What have you. You know what I mean? So now Bill Gates predicts the end of the pandemic. That was some 3 months ago. And now, why vaccine mistrust is growing in the economy. There's a lot of different information avenues talking about this. When it comes to corruption and politics, y'all know it's a big deal, you know? But I want to just play this little election breakdown. Well, this is what I have to say about this whole thing. My bad, y'all. You know, I goes through the motions, you know what I'm saying? It's raw and uncut. Shout out to MRAC TV. This is MRAC TV content. I can't act like it's mine. And y'all know they're mine.
The clothes you see are played by the white hats. The fake news outlet stories are created by the white hats to make you see that this is what's been going on all this time. The censorship, the fake news, playing 6D chess now. But everybody hate it. Oh Lord, please get out of here with that beast control Donald. No, the fake Donalds. Always gotta be one. Some nigga always want to be James Bond. Doc is three presidents that are not in that research. There are three presidents, past and present, that are not making bloodlines to this elite. It is John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln. Why? Because Abraham Lincoln and Kennedy are melanated. I don't know. But he's related to Kennedy. Trump, we know he's melanated, but he's related to Kennedy though. Now get the fuck out of here. Stop trying to tie the Kennedys to the loop. Stop. The Kennedys ain't even their real name. Please stop trying to say that elites control Trump. No, they don't. Why you think they going? How many times they tried to kill him? They tried to kill a nigga like 100 times.
Peace, world. This is MREC for MREC TV. I got those MREC t-shirts. I got those MREC hoodies. And I got those exclusive Rec Mark wigs available now at the official store.
Shout out MRAC. Well, what do you think? What do you think about what she said? Well, Amina said they tried to kill him over 100 times. I don't know about that, but let's listen to this one right here. Shout out Amina and MRAC. I ain't trying to steal y'all content.
Yeah, I got that.
I just want to contrast it to the
Peace, world. We live on
votes that are being stolen.
MREC room etiquette. This is the Blackout
Give a little bit more validity to what I'm saying.
Peace Almighty, peace on this knowledge at a sacred day, peace and blessing. Welcome everybody, good evening.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know why that happened.
You got it on mute like they doing too much. Over here.
And like the big homie him.
And to know that you have witnessed hit the ground with yourself and make yourself up a lead. Period. Bahamas in the building. All right, so going to continue to throw that phrase out there.
That'll great, right?
Oh, salute to the spooky hours. They love that shit, man. Spooky hours. Yeah. Spooky hours tonight.
Spooky hours. You check it out, Abe? Did you get a chance?
Yeah, well, of course. I watch everything. Last one was spooky. Okay, so regarding this situation, like I said, you are watching me. I'm gonna say that every time I go live. I'm gonna say that to y'all over here, and then we're doing parts over on IG channel, and then we're on IG. You are watching me. Okay. Now, regarding the situation with the election, now, even if you voted for whoever you voted for sleepiness or POTUS, just the one fact that there was no candidate reached 270. Calling states early, 2 minutes after polls, things of that nature. These are red flags that should just pop out to some suspicious activity going on just because of that. That's before all of the other stuff that's going on. Okay? Just that right there. All these previous elections, they vote that night. The next morning, you know who the president-elect is, keep it open. But now, because it's this particular person, this man that is basically dismantling this whole bad system or whatever you want to call it, it's these problems. It's this fraud. It's all this unofficial business going on. Now, one thing, the sheep, and that's why I'm going to keep calling these sheep. The sheep have tried to line people who are woke up, try to line us up. After all the knowledge born out here from us, from all the other citizen journalists, all the digital soldiers, all people that's just sharing this information. Y'all don't mention nothing about these children. You don't mention nothing about the knowledge out here about what's going on. All you do is debunk, and then you go turn around and you go vote for these chestnuts. Okay? You go vote for these chestnuts. And that's the problem that I have. First of all, mainstream media, aka mainstream media, these hostile, nefarious news outlets and opposite outlets and things of that nature. Mainstream media does not call an election. Period. Not call an election. Period. You allowed them to call an election. Period. You carry on the street like a bunch of cones. And yeah, I said it. There was no there can't be an official call on an election when 5 minutes later the Trump administration put in paperwork to take it to court. So it's active on paperwork now. So there's no winner determined. Rejected and elected are two different words, two different things. You carrying on out here in the streets, celebrating these chestnuts, these devils, etc. Meanwhile, you don't know nothing about politics. The media cannot call an election. That speech that he gave was unofficial. CGI, nonetheless, was unofficial. If there is paperwork and the lawsuit being filed to contest the results, there is no winner, dummies. Now, General, can you please go into the first receipt that we had on that, please? Appreciate you.
Yes, I got you. Keep in mind they might be out of order because the way it's being loaded in. So
okay, the Trump tweet. We're just gonna start with that. Okay. Wait, right when you send it, when you showing that, right? You showing that? I'm gonna send you two. Got to send this to you because this is important. This goes into just piggybacking off of that. So I'm gonna just send these two to you real quick.
no problem.
These go in after that. I forgot. I apologize when I sent it to you. This is what I did myself. All right. Rigged 2020 election. Here's the thing. Right after they calling, you have mainstream media out there calling these states as the precinct they even reported 100% and not even 50% in. They calling states at 20% of the votes in. They called California for blue 2 minutes after the polls closed out here. Get out of here. It's But either party should have you feeling some type of way. Pre-2020 election, millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our time. Yeah, I see other people talking about it was a court decision. Ain't been no court decision yet. Stop letting these people tell you anything. They have filed 5 lawsuits regarding this election. It's going to court. It ain't in court yet. There's no court decision yet. These dudes be saying anything. Millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries. Okay, wait, yeah. The one that goes in coincides with this is the one that has China on it. The one that says, this is Piggy. The one that says, China's tail on it. That one. And let me see. There's no photo. Not that one. It says China, not that one. He's showing all of them. It says China failed. And for those who are not on the live, I'll go through everything on the IG. The one that says China failed is next to the one that's supposed to. Did I send that to you? Let me send it to you. I'll send it to you. I just sent it. You can post that. Excuse me, I'm drinking water. I don't feel good, but like this breakdown is. Right, you can hear me? Well, I don't hear the general.
I can hear you. My mic was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, the one I just sent you that came through. The one I just sent you. Right now, the tweet that I just read from Donald Trump. It said, "Mid-2020 elections, millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others that will be the scandal of our time." Bomb. Mail-in ballots, millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries. Bomb right here. Chinese mail packages full of ballot votes down the Atlanta post station. Hello? Fraud. Unofficial. Suspect.
Chinese mail package full of Biden votes found in Atlanta post station. God damn.
Let me go into more about the you gotta scroll back into all right. Show the can you show the video of Homeboy? Homeboy, the one I sent you, 17. You got these, but you got people finding bags of ballots. This started in the ballot. Last month, out in Philadelphia, there was hundreds of probably thousands of ballots in the ballots. You have people that actually see the ballots.
Wow.
The video was hundreds of the ballots.
Hundreds of ballots in the garbage.
What was it? It was the dude that was tearing up the ballot. That right there. Okay, that's the fact check. Let me send you the video.
Yeah,
that dude, I apologize. That dude was caught. He recorded himself. Here's the funny thing. He recorded himself. I'm gonna start like you just said it. He recorded himself ripping up Trump ballots, right? And then what he did after that, he deleted his page and changed the narrative. Talking about he's from Cuba. He got caught out there. He got caught out there. He changed his page. Talking about he's from China. He be that in his shit. I just got it.
So that just gives y'all a little synopsis of what's going down right now. You know what I'm saying? You got cheating all over the board. People are not too confident in this new president. You can tell. It's all shaky down, you know what I'm saying? And, us as black folk, we gotta get a code behind the code, you know. We're just wasting time, you know. But as the old saying goes, time waits for no man, you know. So you just gotta roll with the punches, baby. Like Dr. Neely Fuller said, we're serious about everything silly and silly about everything serious. That's real talk. It's your boy Matt Mizzle. I'm out. Peace.